Hello, welcome back to Reliquia Park. We've finished the game, basically, but we do still have quite a lot to go. We have, from what I know, the secrets for every single world. And I believe the secrets might unlock a few things. They unlock abyss puzzles, which are harder versions of themselves. They also probably unlock this right side, which hasn't been unlocked yet. There's also this area on the side that that only opens when you have all secrets, I believe. So there are two secrets I haven't found yet. I haven't found the secret for the totem. I don't think I found the secret for the glyph either. No, I found the glyph secret. I haven't found the secret for the shard, yeah. So we have to go find those, I think. Alright, so regularly secrets are hidden in gardens. So to find the first one, I'm going to just skip ahead to garden number 2. I believe garden number 2 is normally when the first hint comes out. Might not be true for the totems though, because there are so many. The totem has so many gardens, but we'll see. This is gonna be triangle, triangle, N9, I believe. N and Y. Okay. N is 2, and then Y. Alright, any secrets in here? If there are no secrets here, the next secret is probably going to be in the third garden. Looking pretty intently right now, but I don't think there's anything in particular here. No, I don't believe so. Okay. Well, that's fair. What's the next one? Y91Y1. Alright, let's go back to the hub. Y9. I guess right? Y91Y1. I believe is the right one. Yes. Alright, any secrets in here? I'm almost certain at some point trees or these guys would tell us something. Maybe there's a certain space where like these guys act as some sort of, you know. Okay, firstly, this crevice here is really suspicious. Oh, there's just 2 spots here I can step on. What could a secret in here even mean? Like, in the spire one, there were X's marked with trees. In the glyph, there was, I think, just descriptions of the symbols that I need to input. And in the pylon one, it was just spots that looked particularly interesting on the garden map. So I'm not sure what the secret could be in here. Okay, the next one is triangle 70Y0. Okay. So triangle 70Y0. Okay, I do notice that the trees here do seem to form some pretty interesting shapes. They form these L shapes, right? What does that mean? They could be pointing at something. Like each of these could be arrows pointing at something here. They could be... I don't know what else they could be. They could be indicators for like rows and columns. Do I need context for this? I don't think I need context for this, do I? Like context as to what the previous part of the puzzle was, like what this particular mechanic introduced at this stage was. It's probably not a space I can stand on. It might be something I have to hit. But normally a space that you can stand on probably is just, it would normally suffice. Okay, maybe there isn't anything here special. Maybe you just have to figure out a shape from this alone. This could mean 7 maybe? Like because these look like 7s. I'm not sure. Let's go back to garden 2, see if there's anything there. But I mean, there has to be some sort of indicator, is there not? Because, you know, how would you know that this particular garden is what I was looking for? Right. Wait a minute. Look at this tree. Ah. Yep. Some trees are apparently darker than others, and this one is definitely darker than others. So this is a hidden. Okay. Whoa. This is really far out into the open space you can go to. Alright, so this is number 1. That's 9. Cool. So we found the secret. And this should hold true for the rest of the secrets we will find. Okay. So yeah, there are 16 gardens with 5 secrets. It's probably not going to be every 4, right? This is garden 4, but it's not every garden. 16 divided by 4 is every 3. So this one should be at garden 7, I think. I think it would be garden 7. Let's see. Garden 7's code is SY9Y0. S9Y90. Y. SY9Y0. Alright, let's check this out. Oh, wait, was it wrong? SY9Y0. Oops, my bad. I mixed up the Y's and 9's. There you go. This should be it. Yep, I can see another one over here. Okay. 7. Next would then be garden 10. YY07Y. YY07Y. Oh, is it 70? It's 07. Did I mess this up? YY07Y. YY07Y. Okay, I guess I messed it up. Hold on. The easy way to do this is to go to the next garden and backtrack. This is Y triangle S1N. Y triangle S1N. Okay. If there's nothing here, I don't think so. This one looks very suspicious, like this one, but I think my eyes are just playing tricks on me. Anyway, I can always just return to the previous level multiple times, and if I keep doing that, I eventually get to the previous garden. There it is. Yep, it's YY70. I expected something like this to happen eventually. Turns out it did, right here. S. Okay. The next one would be at garden 13, I believe. SY plus 97. Oops. SY plus 97. SY plus 97. Yep, another secret. There's a 7 down there. And the last one would be garden 16. TR1 triangle 1N09. Triangle 1N09. And yep, there it is, down at the very bottom. Okay. Why? That's a totem secret. Cool, we got a totem secret. So the last secret is the shard secret. The shard also has 10 gardens, so I believe it's one every 2 gardens then. Okay, let's input those now and try and find that. The shard garden 2 is triangle 0 n plus bolt. Triangle 0 n plus bolt is 5. Okay, anything special here? Yes, this thing is the only rock. Everything else is garden. Everything else is flowers. Okay. I don't know why I didn't ever notice this. I do notice that, like, interestingly enough, if you restart a level, you will consistently get different textures of the things you're standing on. I don't know why that works the way it does, but maybe to make it look random every single time you load a room, like the tile set is randomized. Okay, so what's the gimmick here then? There should be a secret in here. Like, now that we know it's about 1 in every 5 gardens, the gardens that has the secret should be 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Although that's not entirely true. Okay, well, looking at the shape of this garden, I do notice that it looks a lot like a Y. Right? We could try going to garden 4 to confirm the suspicion. So I'm going to say potentially the first digit is a Y. Let's see. The next garden will be garden 4, which is 9, 1, 7 plus 1. 9, 1, 7 plus 1. And... okay, the garden looks like a triangle. Notice that. I noticed that. The garden looks like a triangle. Okay. Let's keep going and see if this holds. This one will be 7 bolt plus 0 triangle. Actually, I want to see what the previous garden looked like. And see if it looked like anything. Or if it was... yeah, see? It doesn't have all the flowers on the ground. So this is not one of the special rooms then. Ah, okay. So 7 bolt plus 0 triangle. That works for us. 7... I already forgot the code. 7 bolt plus 0 triangle. 7 bolt plus 0 triangle. Yep, this definitely looks like a windmill to me. I'd say it has 4 prongs sticking out of it. So let's say this is a plus. I don't think there's anything else it could look like right now. Next. Next would be garden 8. NYY bolt Y. N Y Y bolt Y. That's a circle, so it's probably 0. And the last one will be garden 10, which is Y77 bolt 1. I knew this would happen at some point. I thought it was like the trees could make a shape, but it's the entire room that makes a shape. Y77 bolt 1. Y77 bolt 1. Alright, the last one is... it's another 4, it looks like. I'd say it looks like another 4, or another plus. So this could be the shard secret. I'm gonna try and confirm it. So the shard secret appears to be Y triangle plus 0 plus. Y triangle plus 0 plus. Okay. It is! Okay, it is the shard abyss. Okay. Cool. Now we have all we have everything, I think. And I'm almost certain I'm not going to try the rest of the abyss puzzle to see if they're true or not. Is there a secret in the hint area? I want to know. I don't think there is. I don't think there would be. But there could definitely be a secret in the hint area. But I'm not gonna... yeah, I don't think there would be. Okay, so what that means now is I can start solving the secret puzzles. Do we have time for that? We have time for a few. Let's go to the totem secret then. Actually, now that I know all the mechanics, should I go by an order of what I believe is the most difficult? I feel like glyph would be the easiest in terms of solving because it is a lot of just brute forcing in general compared to the rest. You can use logic on it, but in general it's just sort of searching for an answer. It's just matching, mixing and matching, which makes it slightly easier. But if I want to go in order of the worlds I played, the first one will be the totem secret, which is 97S7Y. I think I'll do that. I think I'll do it in order of how I originally played. So 97S7Y. Okay. Alright, the totem abyss. Secret fragment. Alright, let's begin this. Starting with Totem-X1. X1, ferns, bishops, queens, and 1 rook. Okay. Easy enough. Queens should be in the corner. They make the most sense being in the corner because queens don't see much in the corner. They can't see each other though, so let's say putting them in different rows. Let's put the rest in a box so we can make sure we know what it sees. This queen happens to see this though. And this queen happens to see this, and this. Okay, so all the black squares right now are probably in danger. I want to put some bishops in grey squares. So okay, let's say I put a rook in here. I can put a fern in the corner like this, another fern here, another fern here, and this should solve it. It does. Okay, this is not the right spot technically, but that solves it, and I'm happy enough with that. So yeah, actually I never actually talked about the mechanic in here. So if you're watching this for the first time, wow, I can't speak. How the totems work are each piece in the totem represents a different piece in chess, except for two pieces which have their own special rules, but we'll talk about them later. The triangular piece here, which looks like a bishop, is actually not a bishop, it's a rook, so it sees things vertically and horizontally. The DNA here acts as a bishop, so it sees things diagonally. And this DNA looking piece, the double helix, is acting as a queen, so it sees things horizontally, vertically, and diagonally. And the goal of the puzzle here is to position these items in such a way where they don't see each other. Is this the only solution? Wow, I think it might be. Cool. Okay, so yeah, we'll talk about other pieces in a while. We'll get kings as well. We also get an interesting intersection piece and also a copier. Also knights. So these are all just knights. Okay. So we have spots for knights. Each knight has 2 spots they can go to in the sides. And in the center we have knights. So let's see if we can just try to get knights in the center to not clash with each other. I think the solution is just to have all knights on the same color. And there's a very interesting reason as to why this is the case. I don't know if that's possible though in this scenario based on Sokoban. It could be possible. I'm trying to get everything in the same color first, but I'm not sure if that's plausible. Is it plausible? It has to be, right? Okay, the reason why I want to get these on the same color is if you notice a knight's move always causes a change in color. So let's say I'm on this square, where I'm right now. A knight's move down to this square brings me to a light square. So from a dark square, I go to a light square, and this is true for all knight moves. All knight moves cause a change in color on a checkerboard pattern. And this means that if all knights are on the same color, they will never be in the wrong pattern, basically. Okay, so I want to do this, I want to do this. I want to do this, I want to do this. Well, I could do this first. Do this. Do this. Alright, I think we solved it. This puts everything on dark squares. And so the easy solution is just put everything else on dark squares as well. Everything else being on dark squares solves the puzzle immediately. Because no 2 dark squares can reach each other by knight's move. So putting knights on dark squares ensures that they never touch each other no matter what. And I don't even need to check here, this is just a fact. So yeah. Cool puzzle that really tests your knowledge on parity. I believe it will be almost unsolvable otherwise if you don't understand how knights work properly. That puzzle was pretty interesting, I guess, but maybe not really. Okay, we have chains. Chains are a special new piece. The other new piece is the epsilon. The epsilon is just a king, so it acts as a king. That's nothing new. It's a king. However, chains are more interesting. Chains form points of intersection. So chains normally come in pairs, as they do now. Each pair of chains forms intersection points, where the intersection points are cells in the same column as one and the same row as the other. So for example, for these 2 chains here, the cell I'm standing on is in the same row as one chain and the same column as the other. What happens at this point is that where I'm standing, these chains form an imaginary king at this spot. And that imaginary king cannot touch anything else. I'm not sure if a king can be seen by a knight or a bishop, so I'm not sure if this is valid. Actually, this would not be valid either way, but like something like this maybe. There's a king in here, an imaginary king, and the imaginary king doesn't see anything. This bishop theoretically wouldn't see anything if I push this away. And like, let's just assume, yeah, it really doesn't see anything else. So is this valid is the question. I'm not sure because I don't think the puzzles in the main game ever needed me to figure this out. Does this see this? And I think the answer is no. Naturally, I would think the answer is no because it's not there. So it's a king that can see things, but nothing can see it, which is why I think this is probably not. But we'll see, we'll see. If we find a solution that should work, but you know, doesn't, this could be an explanation as to why. Okay, to actually solve this puzzle. Now, I want to also know what happens if chains are in the same row. Is every cell here now a king? Is every cell in the column now a king? Or are no cells a king? Or are cells on these guys counted as kings? In almost all cases, this would fail. Like this just fails because you basically put a king right here and that king would see the chain, so that would fail. It will also fail if the king lands on this cell where the chains are, because then naturally it would see the chain as well. We consider a king's position to be counted as seen by the king, even though in chess this can never happen. This game does consider it, and I can prove that by showing that this is invalid. This rook here not only sees the chains, but also the king here does interact with this rook. So unfortunately, this is probably a forbidden pattern then. They cannot lie in the same row or column. If I can't find any other solution, I might have to go back to thinking about this, but right now we'll see what else we can do. Okay, as for knight's moves, we have two knights here, which ideally go in the same color. Otherwise, being side by side also works. The only thing this might actually hinder is the vision of bishops, rooks, and queens. Another thing about bishops, rooks, and queens is that they cannot see through walls or solid blocks. So yeah, there are solid blocks in the game you can push around, not in this puzzle, but like solid blocks that do block vision. So that those solid blocks can be seen by pieces and block vision. They don't block vision of knights though, because knights in chess can jump over pieces. So yep. Okay, how do I want to do this then? It feels like storing them in the corner like this is the safest way to do it. I believe that chains can go through walls, and I think this was proven in one of the final puzzles that we've seen. So maybe that is an issue. If I try forming a king like in this spot or this spot though, that might actually work out better. So like this. Okay, another thing that's interesting is to think about where the queen might go, so that it doesn't see the rook. Because there are a few interesting spots. The queen can't go in the center, because in the center it would see everything around it, so the rook basically gets killed immediately. The same thing might happen if it stands on the sides. If it stands on the sides, it sees everything in the plus shape. It sees everything diagonally adjacent to it, which leaves two spots. Those two spots have to be where the rook and the chain will be, but no matter where you place the queen, this rook and chain will always see each other. So the rook will kill the chain, which is not good. Which means that the best spot the queen can go and the only spot is probably in the corner. This causes the only valid spaces the rook and chain can go to be adjacent diagonally, which is fine because the rook is okay. Okay, so good. And we did think about the king being here and here and here. These three spots are theoretically where the king can go right now, which means that the other chain has to be probably in this spot. Yep. Okay, that leaves the bishop and the two kings. Okay, well, I do want to also note that the chains form a king here as well, so I don't want to do that. This looks like a safe spot for the bishop, I think. No, that would see this. Okay, if I move it here, this should be fine. Yep, the bishop now doesn't see anything. The knights don't see each other. The knights don't see anything either. There's a king in here, but it doesn't see anything. So pushing this up should solve the puzzle. It does, and here should also... No, here is seen by the bishop. Okay, so that solves the puzzle. Nice. Does this solve the puzzle? It also does. This, yes. This, yes. Okay, so we have a total of 4 solutions at least. Alright, fine by me. I think this is the nicest looking, so I'll keep it like this. Alright, last puzzle. Oh, wow. This is deceptively simple. Okay. No gimmicks here. Nothing. Okay. Well. Okay, this might relate to one of the other interesting puzzles in chess, besides just knights being on the same color. There is a problem in chess as to how many queens can you place on a board without them eating up each other. And the answer is 8 maximum. You can put 8 queens maximum without them hitting each other, generally in a knight formation. So, I think the solution also follows a knight formation. So let's see. Well, how many knights can I place in this area then? Not a lot. And some are queens as well. And not very nice to be put in either. Yeah, okay. No, this knight thing, because being in knight's formations actually works pretty well for diagonals, but not for rows. Okay, so maybe you're thinking about this the other way. As for bishops, the answer is also 8, I believe. If you put them in a single row. Of course, you can't do that with queens, but for bishops, you can easily put them in a single row. Let's try that. Right now, what is being seen here? I think I can place something and the knights move away. No, this is seen by this. This. Yeah, so the only free spots are these 4 spots here that aren't seen by the bishops. But obviously the queens can't do that. But maybe if I replace these with the queens, the bishops can be side by side down there. The queens... but the queens would see. Okay, never mind. The queens would obviously see things in the same row. So, that's not good. Maybe queens would want to be a knight's move away from something? No. Okay, this is not a good thing, a good way to think about it. Just pushing things around. What do queens in the side do? A queen here and a queen here blocks out a lot of stuff, right? It blocks out all the corners. But maybe this solves it? No, I don't see why it would. These 4 spots are the only place that the queens don't see at the moment. But obviously something's wrong here. Yeah, this one for example sees that. Actually no, this diagonal is not seen. So I can place this here and this there. And I can place this down here. No. Okay, they see each other by bishop. By putting it down here should solve it. No, because... Why? Because now these two see each other. This one and the one down here. Okay. Symmetrical solutions might not be the thing to do right now. Well, I can place one here and one here. Does that do anything for me? Not really. Okay. Okay, what if I place the queens diagonally on the diagonally adjacent sides? One here and one here. What do they see? This one, for example, sees this row, sees this column, sees this and this. This sees this, this and this. So we have a couple safe spots over here. And we also have a couple safe spots, maybe like here. The only issue is that is obviously this is a safe spot. This is a safe spot. No, this isn't a safe spot. It sees this. But this is a safe spot. But this is also okay. This is a safe spot, and so is this. Ah, but now they see each other, obviously. What else can be a safe spot? There's a safe spot right... No, that's diagonally touching. There's a safe spot right there. But that also touches this. What about here? Yeah, the safe spots are unfortunately very diagonally adjacent. Which is bad. Here is diagonally adjacent to this. The safe spot here and then the safe spot here and here? No. Okay, I'm just trying things out randomly. This one sees this diagonally, so... No. Here? Oh no, that's even more diagonally. No, there isn't anything I can do about this. Really? Okay. What if the queens were like a knight's move apart? So let's say I put a queen in the corner for 1, and the other queen exactly 1 knight's move apart from it, like here. Is this better? Yes, maybe? This diagonal is seen, so I can't use that. This one is also seen. I can use this? That's fine. Okay, I have another trick on my sleeve, but I'll keep playing around until I find something I could maybe consider a solution. Okay, I don't think I can do that. Alright, so the thing I was trying to do is thinking about how many diagonals exist here. The reason why bishops have a maximum value of 8 there is because there are total... Oh, it's not 8, right? It's 15. You can put 15 bishops on a chessboard. And the reason is because there are 15 diagonals. Actually 14, because some diagonals cross each other. Yeah, some diagonals happen to exist on the same diagonal elsewhere. So the answer is 14. But generally you should be able to count how many diagonals exist on the board. And because on a chessboard there exists 15 diagonals, you can put up to 15 on the board. However, 2 of those diagonals have exactly 1 square, both of which exist on the same diagonal. So on those both squares you can only place 1 more bishop, which is the reason why you have 1 less bishop available on the board, meaning you can only place 14 bishops total on the board, and that comes from counting diagonals. So I want to do something similar here and count diagonals as well. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 diagonals in all directions because this board is symmetrical in 90 degrees, 4-way symmetry. And we have 6 pieces here that all see diagonally. Therefore, that then implies that they each take up 1 diagonal almost, with 1 diagonal to spare. Okay. How can we achieve that? Well, the easiest way I can think of doing that is by simply placing the bishops like this in a row. But clearly that does not work for the queen here. The queen will unfortunately see stuff. So my next idea is to then have the queens be, firstly, a knight's move apart in different rows. And then even different diagonals basically. And then fill in the rest. So for example, this is this would not work if they completely filled up more than 1 diagonal. So for example, this diagonal here is completely filled because this sees this cell and this cell, and this sees this cell. This diagonal is completely filled because this sees this cell, and this cell. Actually, this queen does. So with 2 diagonals completely filled, you now no longer have enough diagonals to fit everything. Which then means that this doesn't work. Okay, what if we place them on the opposite corners? Would this work? Well, okay, this diagonal has 2 spots, which does fit. This diagonal has 1 spot, which fits. This diagonal has 1 spot, which fits. And this diagonal has 1 spot, which also fits. So why doesn't this work? Because these spots see each other. These are the only spots that fit, I'm pretty sure, and of course they see each other. Well, what about this? Yeah, this almost works, but once again sees each other. So once again, this is almost like the initial problem where how many bishops you can put on a chessboard is sort of hindered by a separate diagonal existing. So this wouldn't work. We are missing exactly one spot here. I don't think I can fix this to form a solution that works. So let's try the next possible idea. This and this. They form two diagonals, so now we're looking at what? Looking at diagonal, they're looking at the positive gradients. Okay, I do know that this diagonal over here is filled. Okay, this diagonal has one spot, so let's place that there. So if this diagonal is filled, every other diagonal must have something. Okay, we have two spots for this middle diagonal here, which is either here or here. Let's say there, because it's safer. This diagonal now has two spots still. It's here or here. And does this solve it? It doesn't. Where? Oh, this one. Oh, this one is the same. Okay. Wait, isn't that fail then? Yeah, this fails because this diagonal over here is seen by all three, and so is this diagonal over here. It's seen. This cell, and this cell are all seen. This cell is seen by this. This cell and this cell is seen by this, diagonally and vertically. So we have two diagonals that don't fit. And if two diagonals don't fit, then the puzzle can't be solved. Alright, new configuration. We're just gonna keep trying around. I don't know if there's a better way of doing this, but we're gonna try around. Let's try... I mean... Okay, maybe let's try not putting them in the corners. I mean, it's counterintuitive, but putting it in the centers definitely doesn't feel right. So let's try something like this. This is such a random spot. But maybe it's random enough that it works out. Let's shove these away first. What diagonals are being completely seen? This diagonal is completely seen. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this diagonal is also completely seen. So this doesn't work. Okay, what about this and this? This one is free. This diagonal, this sees that, this sees that, this sees that. So this will be free. This diagonal, this sees that, this sees that, this sees that. This diagonal is completely unfillable. This diagonal is also completely unfillable. Two unfillable diagonals fails. Alright, what the heck is the solution here? I feel like I'm trying everything, but nothing is working out. This trial and error thing is not going to work out, so... Is it wrong to go for those first? Oh, that solves it. This is close. This is close because I thought that this is the only one that failed, right? So pushing it down apparently solves it. Why does this work? Why? Is it just like the most optimized solution that you could come up with? This is not symmetrical in any way. How does this even work? What? I tried the knight's move things again, so I pushed everything into a knight's move apart. And I slowly changed everything as I saw it, but I'm gonna admit that this entire solution was a guess. It was just a guess. That was all. But this works, so I'm not gonna complain. It is true that we have 6 diagonals that are all filled with something each. Except for the diagonal here, here, and here. That's the diagonal that isn't filled. Alright, interesting. I don't know how you could logically come up with that, but sure. Okay, one more. Do we dare to solve this? Yeah, okay, we have time. If we can do this fast, we should be able to work this out. Okay, we have blocks here that can block vision. One... Okay. So, 3 kings here has a couple solutions, but most of them involve this sort of formation here. Something like this also works. But not entirely that cool. We do know that rooks have some special variation. Without the box, rooks have to do something like this. So every row and every column have 1 rook each. But with boxes, they can now be in the same row or column without seeing each other. So something like this is actually very beneficial because this blocks the huge line of sight for the rooks. I'm not sure if it might be a misleading thing though. It might be misleading because thinking about this, can you fit 3 kings into a 2x3 area? And the answer is no, obviously you cannot. The best you can do is 2 kings, like there are 2 away. So that means that if any of these rooks saw a vertical line down, that would fail. Because you would reduce this space for the kings to just a 2x3, which we know is not possible. And kings don't care about boxes. The boxes aren't, you know, the king's range isn't even expensive enough for these boxes to become relevant. So this box is almost there for no reason. It is there for a reason. It is there to block the view. Okay. So this can exist if it blocks the view like so. This makes it a bit harder for me to think about the solution here. Because we're not entirely sure if this must happen or not anymore. I can push this entire thing up. Actually, no, can I? There is no way for this box to block the vision of both of these. And same here. Wherever you have here... yeah, in fact... it is not possible for this kind of thing to happen. And the reason why is because you then have 2 lines of sight going down the box here. And this grid over here, even if one of them was blocked off, you would still reduce the box to a 2x3 grid. So in fact, there must only be 2 lines of sight, one of which is blocked by a box. Well, not necessarily. Yes, one of which has been... Wait, what? Wait, I'm confused now. Are there never... Is there never going to be always... Is there never going to be one free line of sight here? How do you stop that? How do you stop that from ever being one free line of sight down this column? Because... Okay, this puzzle has just devolved back into impossibility. How? With 2 boxes in this set of 3 columns, how in the world are you going to block 3 lines of sight? Any line of sight that goes down just kills the entire puzzle, right? And... yeah, what? What? Is there something I'm missing here? These are rooks. These are 100% rooks. I would know. Because... I don't know, they're just rooks. They look like bishops, but they're rooks. They can see each other using a box to block their line of sight. But ultimately, this doesn't change anything. Yeah, this puzzle just does not feel solvable to me. Unless there is a certain special rule that I'm missing out on. This just simply does not feel possible. So you do need 3 boxes to cover 3 lines of sight. And 3 boxes is actually valid. But we don't have 3 boxes. See, 3 boxes like this. And then 1 in the middle. Wait, this doesn't even work. Oh well. Yeah, 1 like this and then another box here. That would work out, but it just doesn't seem to want to at the moment. If I put the box... Does a box somehow prevent a king looking at a king? Is something like this somehow fine? And why in the world would it be fine? No, this is perfectly fine, is it not? I mean, this is perfectly not fine. This is completely not plausible here. Okay, this puzzle just does not feel right. There is something wrong with this puzzle. Something wrong. Well, I don't want to blame the puzzle just yet, but I'm almost certain that there is no solution to this particular conundrum. Unless it's a rule I'm missing out on. Right? It's not something stupid like I can find a box somewhere. Or boxes block king movement. That just does not feel like it makes any sense here. Oh, I get it. It's possible because kings can occupy the same column. So something like this. This works. Ah, that's the thing I did missed. Kings can occupy the same column. And this box is actually in a really nice spot here. This spot blocks any diagonal from this fern. Anyway. This can be further blocked by something like this. Or this. Okay. And then we can do something like... We can use a box here to block the vision between 2 rooks. Okay, but this doesn't work for that. So what I might want to do instead is maybe if I shifted everything over, if I flipped everything 90 degrees, how would that work out? It will allow a free bishop to be placed in this diagonal that wouldn't get anything. Okay, how in the world would the rook work with that though? Maybe something like this? This rook now sees that. So... Okay, no, we're breaking a lot of things here. It's almost as if... there has to be a block here to prevent this from seeing, right? Like this, maybe? That's valid, but not really. I would say that's probably not valid. And then we could do this up here. Now I'm not entirely certain as to why this this shouldn't be the only configuration that works, but this is the one I'm rolling with because well, we haven't proven this is impossible just yet. So this satisfies this satisfies these 3 columns. Okay, next. A bishop and a rook can never see each other either vertically or diagonally. Sorry, either orthogonally or diagonally. Meaning the most likely way for them to actually exist is in a knight's pattern. Right? Yeah, I believe so. And a knight's pattern can exist like this. This unfortunately breaks because of this. Okay, I can push this over here and this would block a lot of vision though, so that's good. So now this knight is no longer in danger. What about this thing? Yeah? No. In fact, this actually fails because a lot of these guys see everything over here. So it's not just a one-way thing, it has to be a two-way thing. Okay. So it does seem as if a flipped version benefits more because it blocks both direction here and direction downwards. But that would then require us to sort of flip this as well. And this might be bad because now this is sort of broken a little bit. With this flipped, there is almost no way this can actually resolve itself besides just hiding behind something. Yeah, so this isn't right. Any other configuration that happens to work out? Yes, push this down. Okay, I need to somehow... How do I get these guys into their own corners? Can you please get yourselves into your own corners? How do I get this to happen? I feel like it might not be possible to get them all into separate corners here. It's a Sokoban problem instead of anything else. Right? Right? Let's say I want a box like here. Can I actually ever split them up properly without having to do anything dumb? Like, this seems to work, but the box is not in the wrong spot. If I try to move the box, I have to move something else. See, that's the problem. And if you think about the final position where these 4 guys are in the corners, what would the last move even be to get this to happen? The last move would have to be pushing something orthogonally into its place. But that requires your starting position to be on a totem that already exists. So that doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel plausible. Not even in this starting position. So in reality, I believe this is the only way it can work. But how? I'm really hoping this puzzle just does not dive back into its own, like, impossibility state ever again. This seems somewhat plausible. Except for the fact that this sees a lot of stuff. What if I flipped it somewhat? Maybe like A fern here does something bad. A fern here is bad because... yeah, no, nothing can ever be in the center except for the knight. Okay. And the reason why is because anything in the center, if it were a fern or if it were a bishop or a rook, we'll see either the corners or the sides, and the remaining spot where you can place the other piece will naturally see the piece in the middle as a result. Or in fact, you can just say the rook and bishop will always see the middle no matter where they are. In fact, because that's true, nothing can be in the middle. Not even the knight. Even if the knight was in the middle, the rook and bishop would see it. And there's no blocking you can do. So nothing can be in the middle, except the block. Huh. Okay. So if the block is in the center, how can I do this? This is not valid. If the block is in the center, okay, see, this is an issue, right? This is clearly unsolvable because nothing can be in the center except the block. If the block is in the center, then there are only two other things that can be in the same column as this block. The last piece will have to be in one of the other two columns, which will always be seen by these fires. I call them fires, oh my goodness. They're triangles. They're rooks. I just keep thinking of them as fires. Okay, so this is a wrong configuration. We need either... we could push something to see the center, which makes space for things to exist here. Right, so something like this could exist. This is valid for every piece, actually. Maybe this is all I need. The problem is that this piece, this rook over here, now needs a block because you have to have a block here. But a block here would never be able to block anything from seeing down these columns. Which means that it has to be empty, I think. But if it were empty, then suddenly you get a real mess like this. And that doesn't work. I feel like we're close, but not really close at all. Actually not close at all. I cannot tell if there's anything better I can do. Maybe there is. Maybe there is. Hold on. Okay, this sort of configuration ensures this box has to be on the left. Otherwise, something will always see this. Okay. So... I believe there are only two solutions to this puzzle. Sorry, two solutions to this grid over here. The first one only exists because we know that there are only two boxes to block line of sight here. The kings can only exist in two columns. These must exist in three separate columns, and the reason why is, number one, if they didn't, the only way is to have two columns. Ooh, hold on. No. This is somewhat valid actually. Hold on. I can convert this solution. This might work. Doesn't work. Lots of reasons as to why this doesn't work here. But if somehow this happened, how would you then solve this? And then how would you then solve this? This is not possible, is it? No, wait. No, it might be. This is the only way this will work. It doesn't actually work because all three of these rows, okay. So we know that it is not possible for all three rows or all three columns in this grid to have a king. The reason is because with two blockers here, you can only block 2 columns of vision from the rooks. And therefore, you can only ever have 2 columns here be kings. Now, if you try a 2x3 shape, you'll find that you can never find kings. And therefore, you can't have a 2x3 shape of only kings. The only way to solve this puzzle is then to have the middle row be empty. Now you can have a free-seeing rook in the middle row. Next, the 2 columns on the sides are blocked. There are a few ways you could do this. The previous one was the one I just explained. But you can sort of think about how you might then solve this side once this area is resolved, right? You can never have 3 exposed kings for a similar reason. 3 exposed kings will always lead to one issue or another. Although it's slightly better... No. Exposed kings. You can't have 3 exposed kings. You can have a king being blocked off by a block. Which is why I'm expecting the block to be in this column over here. And if a block is in this column over here, it is not possible for 2 kings to exist, because the last king would be exposed. And you would have 2 exposed kings, basically. As a result, if there is a block in this column, then there can only be 1 king in this column. This might work actually. I actually never noticed this being a pattern that existed. But this pattern actually does exist. This L shape. Which allows one free-seeing rook here. The other rook can then be blocked off by a block, like so. And for purposes, I can also have this happen. Alright, so this is the ideal solution at this point in time. Right? This is a solution that also appears to work, but doesn't, because this block is now forced to be down here. So I think ideally this happens. Now, the block for this has to be in here then. Which is an issue because now you have 3 of these guys. That is bad. Okay. How the heck do I resolve this? Well, one way I can resolve it is that now you can flip this around. There won't be 3 exposed anymore. There will only be 2 exposed rows for this king. So you can in fact put a block here to block this instead. And therefore place this block down here. So let's say this happens. Okay, what about this now? One can freely go here, the other can... Okay, so this is also a valid combination. So is this actually, but I think it might eventually matter when we try resolving the top area. So this could be placed over here, and the reason why is because this forms greater blockages. Actually, that's not true. This forms blockages here and here. This forms blockages here and here. In both cases, 5 cells are blocked. So there is no difference there. However, you notice that there are 2 exposed columns here. So both of these rows either have a blockage or are empty. I do want to attempt to place a fern in this exact spot because these 2 cells are empty, which make it really cool. I could also place a fern up here, but I don't think I want to. Instead, I want to place a rook up here. I don't think it matters what I put where. So this goes here, 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 yes. So a fern here or here appears to work. I could also put a blockage here and therefore a fern here. The only issue is it will be seen by this. I could always push this forward, but then, well, then I could place a rook in here. This? No, this is seen by that. This is so close. So close. What are we missing? This almost works. This works for every piece except one. This one. But how do I block this? Shifting it over won't help because shifting it over just hits this instead. Moving this up doesn't help because this entire row has to be empty. Okay. Let's see. Wait a minute. I realize now that a block can also block the path of a fern downward. So a fern can exist in the middle diagonal if it's blocked by a block. Notice this is almost completely useless. Up here, it's already seen by this, so the block can't be in the diagonal. If it's here, the same thing happens. So maybe this has to be in a different spot. If I shifted everything up, I can do this. This does stay as a solution. So maybe now this can work? No, because we know the fern can't be in the center cell. So obviously the fern can't be here because obviously there's nothing blocking. So the fern can't exist in the diagonal then. I feel like nothing can be in the diagonal. Except maybe this. What is seeing what here? This is seeing this, so something else has to happen. I was thinking about using this block to block this rook from this, but no. This doesn't work. Even though it's very close to... No, it isn't actually. Okay, let's see. This here? Oh my god, that solves it. Ah, why? Okay, I was wrong about there being nothing here. I thought there was nothing here because the fern would always see it, but the fern would never see it if it were in one of the squares on its orthogonal adjacency. The rook is on the rook is the opposite. The bishop is, yeah. So that was another assumption I made that was incorrect. But I guess this works for some very special reason. This might be the only solution, considering the asymmetry of the puzzle. You can't actually diagonally flip the puzzle either because this puzzle has no diagonal line of symmetry. So this might be really the only solution. And this took me a very long to find. So long, in fact, you just sat through about 30 minutes of this. But wow, okay, finally solved. And this should be it for the totem. Whew, there you go, Totem-XendX. Do not forget the name, okay. Okay, so the Totem Secrets Memorial. Let me just write that down here. Is SN plus 90. SN plus 90. Saved. Okay, jeez. Let's return. So if I tried it right now, I don't think anything special will happen. S N plus 90. Okay, secret activated, and it should light up there. Yeah, it is a secret. Okay. We're gonna have to do this over and over again for the next few secrets, but honestly, the rest should not be that challenging until we hit pylons. Pylons are the next thing I'm really scared of. So yeah. We'll see what happens then though. Pylons are the only one I'm really scared of. But it should be basically how the chest thing went out. Anyway, another thing I want to find is that I think there is something to see in the final area when I get all the secrets. So, well, actually, the game doesn't know that I've gotten all secrets. There's no reason for the game to know that. There's no like input you make until you actually input in all secrets. Have I visited every one? I don't think I visited every abyss yet. So maybe we'll leave that for next time. Now though, I think I'll just stay here and relax in the park. Next episode we'll work on the spire puzzle. Oh, spires are pretty tough as well. Yeah, spires are pretty tough. It's okay though. Yeah, until then though, hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.